Goodness, Monkley with the dodge.
What a beautiful charge dash from Meldon to save him. That faster?
Is that faster?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Meldon gets it.
Oh, this is what a save!
Oh my god!
Yo, what's up everyone out there or in the Blind Forest fans? I hope you guys are all ready for a continuation of the awesome matches that we have had this evening, afternoon, morning, wherever the heck you are. And we are going to be having another really close matchup between the 31 seed Sloaters and the 34 seed ThisIsNotSully. And I'm Trojan Dude 12, and today I'm joined with Poogle. How are you doing, Poogle?
I'm doing fantastic. This has been a day of super close matches all the way through, and it's going to continue with this one from the Anno division.
Yeah, as you see, this massive bracket that we're going to swoosh in right here to the Anno division. And we've already had some really great matchups so far in this division. And these two right here between Lurking Assassin and Smashy and today's Sloaters versus Sully are very, very high matches. They're both really close to each other in skill level. So we are going to be very, very interested to see how these shake out.
Yeah, as this is a lower bracket matchup, whoever the loser of Sully and Sloaters is will be knocked out from the tournament. The winner going on to face whoever wins between Lurking and Smashy. Now, both of these runners are super close and have already met once before in the upper division. So I'm excited for this rematch.
Yeah, as we start to get to the stats over here, I always love casting these controller versus keyboard and mouse matchups because you get to see a lot of different setups in the way that they do tricks, their general movements. And going into Sloaters in particular, his average race time is a 38:02 and his best race time is a 36:24. And to just note, he actually does the Ginso escape route. So he does the clean water route. As opposed to where most people do the waterless route. And as you can see from the stats, he is currently running and helping organize the Super Metroid multi-category tourney, so he's been very busy with that as well.
Do you think it's going to have any impact on his level of practice for the tournament?
I think it will a little bit, just because, you know, I was in 2 tournaments myself, and it's hard to really find that balance between practicing for both. So I think it'll have definitely a little bit of an impact.
All right. Now, as you can see from the lovely graph in your lower left, both runners' consistency is super duper solid. So that'll be really something to say.
Yeah, definitely. Projected winner of this tournament, he's going to go all the way, man. He's going to do all these upsets just like in the NCAA March Madness right now.
Sully
he's going to go all the way.
Sully has been improving like crazy since the tournament started. And the PB that is shown is not actually correct. Sully has a 32:05.
Yeah, it was nuts. I was actually there for his PB the other day, and I mean, he's throwing off all these things that you expect from anyone that's going for like 30s and 31s. So, you know, he could possibly put on a massive show here. He's been improving wildly during this tournament.
I'm excited. I'm hoping for no major screw-ups from either runner and for us to just see a good, clean race. Looks like we're going to get started here in just a moment.
All right. So I always like when I'm doing the commentary about the color coding. Think we're going to see some color codes at the start?
I'm not sure. Because I'd wager no. Just because sometimes you can get really bad colors as well as really good colors, and as fun as pink Ori is, purple Ori, not so much.
Yeah, and we're just going to be hopping and skipping all the way over to signs. There won't be too much variation right here. Looks like no hits on the diving board going down on the little wooden platform. It doesn't lose that much time, only like about half second to a second. And we'll be starting to go towards the Frankie fight. And I always like the controller in KBM because you can start to see the differences in the way that they use Spirit Flame.
Yeah, considering that even with controller runners, sometimes you see the difference between mashing and pacing your shots, and then with keyboard and mouse, you've got the scroll wheel, so that's always interesting to see how our runners like to do things. Even from the start of the race, putting their little personal flair. And there you go, Trojan. There's your color code.
Hey, you got some color. It looks like a nice little, kind of a hot pink Ori from Sully's side. That's always a nice color. It gives you good contrast whenever you get to the save anywhere later. Both had a very clean Frankie fight overall. Sully getting about probably a half second to a second lead right there. Not too much this early, and have to see how they do going towards there. Sloaters taking a bit of damage, so he'll have to adjust that going up.
Sully taking a bit of damage from that slime, so
oh, and there
to
it was.
Adjust.
That's what I mean. He took too many hits, and then the lingering hitbox to that spike, the bramble on that little flower pad is longer than you can anticipate, and just takes a quick little death. Not too terrible though.
Nah, not at all. Something still can easily come back from. Early deaths in Glades aren't the worst to deal with, but they can also be a little upsetting though. So I hope that hasn't affected his mentality too much early game.
Yeah, hopefully not. Sully's going for Ghost Store. He got a little trolled by the slime right there. I think I was trying to jump up while he was too close to the edge, so had to wait and kill it, but gets a nice 1 HP Ghost Store, and heading up to get this 4th HP cell, and that's going to provide a lot of safety going into the later game, especially in Misty.
And even right now provides a decent amount of safety, because slimes going into the elbow are not the nicest of things. Taking any one hit from them, especially if you don't go for that, means that you're back at the Ghost Door.
Yeah, that's why sometimes it's better to, if you're unlucky and say you have to do a 2 health Ghost Door, it's sometimes better to just take it and leave it, because those slimes can be snipers, and when you're trying to go up to that 4th health cell, and also the Frankies might stomp on you.
Looks like Sully's going to take his level up on the way back up. Now, it's normally that can be indicative of slime genocide route. What do you think we're going to say?
Well, I know that Sully has been inquiring about it actually just today, trying to get a little bit of optimization for that genocide route. So might see him go for that. Sloaters, I don't believe goes for genocide. I've commentated a couple of his matches before, and he generally does the standard 100 XP orb route, I believe.
All right, well, it'll be interesting to see what our runners end up doing. There is Sully's level up on the way up from the wall jump tree, getting all of that experience, basically, so he's going to be pretty high going into Blackheart.
Yeah, in Slime Genocide, it's not nearly as big of a problem as, or have to adjust because of having to kill 2 or 3 slimes like you would do with the 100 XP orb. But it is, I think, an option. You don't kill one of the slimes, I believe, near the start, if I remember correctly. I don't do the genocide route myself, so I'm not too privy to the variations based on the amount of XP you have.
Well, we'll have to see what ends up occurring. Sloaters now also, and Sully is going to go for that 15 experience orb, meaning he is going to go for Slime Genocide route through Blackheart Burrows. He'll have to take Magnet at this save anywhere, as I believe the only person who does not do Magnet Slime Genocide is Aviona, who basically came up with the movement themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Sully looks like got a clean save anywhere right there, as Sloaters is coming up to his save anywhere. And a nice clean trigger as well. So you're going to see the genocide. Ooh, takes a bit of damage, but is getting the level up right there. Oh, takes another bit of damage, though. So now these spikes over in the pit will actually one-shot him, so he has no opportunity to save himself. But so far, a good jump over. Let's see if it gets a good retreat back across the pit.
Not opting for a safety save before or after the pit yet, so is going to save right before the door at least.
Yeah, that used to be a really common before the 100 XP orb route. Oh, gets a nice little bounce off of the spikes right there to make the lantern. But that was used to be a really common safety save in the old clean water route, just because we didn't have to manipulate our energy as thoroughly.
Well, speaking of old save in the clean water route, Sloaters actually did make the exact same save.
Ooh, almost get sniped by the laser with getting a little bit of a troll by the edge of the flower pad right there, but thankfully does not die, so still on a good cycle right here. And
he does actually get a slightly better platform cycle after the lasers from Sully, so he's a bit closer now.
Yeah, only a couple platform cycles, so not too far behind. Sloaters, after that early death, has been keeping really good pace with Sully, so great job on Sloaters to get mindset back and not tilt or anything so far.
Yeah, that can be super upsetting having an early game death like that, but he looks like he's taking it in stride, gets the manipulation into the dash room, hot on Sully's heels. Sully's going to now lift the darkness cutscene, as is Sloaters, just briefly.
Yeah, both of them get a little minor optimization right there, dropping the orb early on that platform, so you can get sniped by the laser, but with good movement you can always make it over. And Sully's going to be leveling up after a specific audio cue with the pedestal, and is going to skip about half of that cutscene right there. So and is be coming up to the gotta go fast skill in dash.
Now Sloaters is not going to skip this cutscene. I believe that is because he's doing the route where he cleans the water. Am I somewhat correct in that question or no?
Oh, that's possibly correct. I'm unsure because I haven't run the route in a really long time, but you pretty much, I know the reason. So essentially you can't level up Rekindle there because you need to use Rekindle for the blind movement later, where most people get regroup now, because you need the regroup for when you do Drainless, but that's a long time from now, and we'll explain it once Sloaters gets there.
Okay, that makes sense. Sully having a bit of problems with Billy. Billy playing nice now. And that actually allowed Sloaters to catch up a decent margin.
Yeah, that pretty much takes away the whole save anywhere during the cutscene, to skip the cutscene. And yeah, only about half a Frankie walk behind right now. So Sloaters having very solid play so far.
Sully is...
Oh no, Sully didn't get the level up.
What happened?
I'm unsure. It looked like his XP. Oh, maybe. Oh, did he not kill that slime on the way out before? He maybe forgot. But that's going to give Sloaters a lead change right here.
Yeah, Sloaters is through the poison water underneath the Frankie and is going for Death Glide and gets it.
Very nice. I did not know that Sloaters went for that.
I didn't either. That was very clean. And he has a save, so he doesn't have to go back and do any of that again. Meanwhile, Sully is really not having a good time with Billy here.
I know, I think the previous match I commented Sully, he always, feels very nervous about his early game. So it looks like maybe the nerves are getting to him a little bit, or just had a little bit of a brain fart. But, that's going to give Sloaters a pretty decent sized lead. Okay, he gets it right there. It was a little spooky for a second, but he got it.
Choosing to dunk the Frankie in the water instead, and got an energy from that as well. Gets through. Ooh, does not get through the Death Glide.
All right, well, that's going to give a lot of extra time to Sloaters on top of the Frankie walk death. We're going to have to see what the delta is at double jump, but it's got to be fairly substantial at this point. opting not to take a safety save until down here. It's just a little more optimal, but a little scarier because you can always run to that suicide slime or the other slime.
So Sully's going for early grotto skip and makes it look super easy. Early grotto cycle, my bad.
Yeah, very, very nice movement from Sully right there. As a Sloaters leveling up Rekindle there, he didn't do the blind movement. So getting Rekindle for the, you have to get that before this upcoming because we get a cutscene glitch with a Rekindle. As let's see how Sloaters does with grotto skip. 40% and screw the 40%, gets it first try. Very nice from Sloaters.
Sloaters has had some really nice movement all the way up from the death, like through Blackroot and everything. So he's just been on a tear on this early game.
Yeah, Sully doing the blind movement right there. Does it pretty cleanly right there. Takes it a bit slower just to be a little bit safer. And we'll see how Sully does in grotto skip here shortly. Sloaters grabbing Water Vein right now with another cutscene glitch at the top of the Gummo shaft area of grotto. And we'll be heading to go up to the Ginso tree and is not going to get the grotto teleporter like most underrunners in his tournament will get.
He's also not going to get the 100 experience to the right of the Water Vein cutscene skip because he is doing Ginso escape, and any experience that he may skip on his way there, he will correct through that escape. Yeah,
that is correct. I normally get about 3 pickups in that final escape. So at this point, just to kind of get a recap of the early game, since we're getting towards the mid game right now in Ginso Tree, Sloaters has made pretty much no mistakes so far, which is really awesome to see. A runner of his time has got to be maybe on PvP pace. We'll see. I don't know where he is in reference to that right now, but hopefully Sully can continue to recover from the mistakes in that early game with Frankie Walk and whatnot.
Yeah, Sloaters did have that one death right before the Ghost Door in the very beginning of Blades, but has had absolutely solid play since. I think he's only about 11 seconds behind his PB at Double Jump. So despite that death, he has been fantastic movement so far.
Mm-hmm. Does get the cutscene skip at the start of Ginso, and I believe we're going to be doing some beautiful horizontality. Am I right, Poogle?
Are you just making up words now?
No, it's a legit word. I mean, you can look it up in the encyclopedia.
No. So you did bring up an interesting point, though, is that the Ginso tree is not necessarily a vertical dungeon, considering you're going back and forth left to right and then right to left a lot of the time in here. So while you have to keep going up, you do go left, back, and forth a lot during this dungeon.
Yeah, that's correct. The use of the portals from a very casual standpoint is kind of cool to figure out because especially in this upcoming puzzle room, it can get you a little disoriented with which portal goes where. Thankfully, though, we have a more optimal setup of doing this faster. But it's those types of things that I really cherish about the design of the Ginso tree.
Well, you can cherish this puzzle room because I certainly don't. Sloaters is off to the mini-boss. Now, this is where the keyboard mouse versus controller control scheme really starts to put into play. Sloaters is pacing his shots at the mini-boss, doing a good job of tracking where it's been spawning, and getting pretty decent spawns so far.
Yeah, gets a right-hand spawn right there. That was the first trolley one. But otherwise, getting good damage. Looks like going to get a 6 cycle. Oh, no, but despawns it. Despawns it again. So getting a really kind of a slowish 8 cycle because of the 2 despawns. And that level up is intentional. You do get that depending on your XP routing for the Ginso escape one. So you won't see that on Sully's side, excuse me, and Sloater's gonna grab the last couple keystones and come up to most people's favorite ability in Bash.
Bash is pretty great. Looks like he is deciding to check his experience at this ghost door, which is not going to be a ghost door for him. He's just going to go through. And, yeah, as you said, to Bash. What's your favorite thing about Bash, Trojan?
I am always a big fan of the way you can use projectiles with Bash. I mean, the enemy stuff is really cool, which we use with the charge dash stuff, but how to figure out the different puzzles with Bash, I felt is a really cool use of it.
Yeah, speaking of projectile puzzles, Sloaters is just going to go for getting that shot through the puzzle and through the teleporter as intended. And is going to... Does Clean Water Route go for a key do?
Yes. Yeah, because even with clean water, it is still faster to get the keystones here instead of having to swim for those 2 keystones. Those are extremely slow in Swamp. And gets a nice key dupe right there. Did not get a rekindle, so it's gonna go for it. Okay. So a little bit on the ballsy side right there by Sloaters, but usually after that first one they're generally pretty good. And it looks like Sully is caught up slowly but surely, and is only probably about 20 seconds behind, or 25 seconds, not too far behind at this point.
Well, currently Sully is less time behind than the Ginso escape swamp entry discrepancy. So that's going to be something interesting to see. Yeah,
so Sloaters going to do the old famed core skip right here. This is another one of the XP management things that we used to do in the old clean water route. For me personally, I always enjoyed. It was a nice little manipulation. Gets the good one, hits the frog in, gets the XP, and a nice level up. So good job from Sloaters, and is now going to do the beautiful Ginso escape.
Yeah, this music is some of the best in the game. And it's music that we really don't have to... Well, we don't really see every so often, but because Sloaters is doing the beautiful, beautiful Ginso escape, we get to hear this. Now, because he's doing this, there's a couple of 100 experience pickups in here that he's going to grab to correct his XP routing. Well, I suppose not correct because this is the way that the route goes, but he's going to do this to get through what he needs. Meanwhile, on your right, Sully is going to go for his swamp entry, which is the trick that was discovered so that you don't have to do Ginso escape.
Yeah, exactly. So this is going to be interesting because if Sully gets his first try, they're going to be like almost synced up right here. It'll only be about 10-15 second difference because of the animation. And very, very nice from Sloaters. Yeah, you're going to see the same area. So this is now those paths have diverged, and Sloater will make up a little bit of that time later with not having to go for some health cells that Sully is going to have to go for. And Sully barely getting up there. Wasn't sure because of how late he grabbed that shot, but does get it.
So, swamp entry being a much quicker way of getting into swamp by about 40 seconds roughly?
Yeah, it's about 35 to 40 seconds, depending on how good your movement is. But Sloaters having a pretty clean back half of Ginso, probably lost the optimal amount of time for him, which is always good to see when you're doing a route divergence like that.
Yeah, this, however, is really only like one Karo cutscene skip away. Potentially a bit of trolling from Ringo, but that looks like is not going to happen.
Are we going to establish Kuro cutscene skips as a new time measurement in Ori?
I mean, it's an actual full time measurement. We know how long it takes. Speaking of which, Sully's going for it and gets it, as Sloaters is going to go for a trick that we don't really get to see anymore. Why don't you talk a bit about that, because you kind of know more about it than I do.
Yeah, so essentially, this is a use of the save state stuff that you'll see in Terror Break later with the charge jumping, but this is using a stomp. So in the first half of your stomp animation, if you bring up the ability menu and level something up to save, and you reload, it'll save that you're still stomping, and it'll put you at the bottom of the water, so you'll break an underwater platform. It's a really cool route thing, and there used to be back in vanilla, an old drainless version where it was with a rekindle. It was pretty sick actually to watch. Sloater's not putting a safety save. And unfortunately misses it.
He's gonna have to watch the big angry bird. So this is Kuro. We don't really get to find a lot about Kuro because, well, we don't really pay attention to the story. In fact, we do like half of the game backwards, except not really backwards because Rio does that backwards.
Yep, exactly. And Sloaters is still opting. I don't know if he took a safety save, so he's really going on his okay, there's the safety save right before the energy. Although he's got to remember if he dies right here to get it. Okay, but it looks good. Oh no, but he does die. Okay, all right, he does remember to go back. That damage boost is spookier than you would think.
And he is getting a little caught up by these spikes. These spikes, unfortunately, it doesn't matter if you have 3 health, 4 health, 5 health, or 15 health. They will kill you.
Yeah. And during all of this, you know, Sully's been tearing up the feather split right here. I mean, just destroying the first part of Valley of the Wind, and is coming up to his fast stomp list right now. Let's see if he can get it. Gonna bait the shot over. That shot looks good. I don't know if he got far enough quick enough, but the shot was good. We'll have to see here. All right, really great job by Sully.
I've stopped trying to actually determine how those shots go because I'm just bad at that trick in general and bad at seeing where that trick goes.
You know, some people mention that you need to like flip a coin to see if it'll hit or not. It actually tends to be a little more lenient on the low side, but you can still miss by being too low. So it is definitely one of the most finicky tricks in this run.
Yeah, Sully coming up to another, not perchance finicky trick, but more annoying trick. Sarah Bash. Going for a double bash method that is a lot easier to deal with on KBM than controller.
Gets through first try. Very, very nice shot. Ooh, a little bit of a nice swag stomp cancel right there next to the bird. Oh, but does take a hit from the frog.
No,
he
does
almost used
not.
the frog.
He actually bashed the shot just in time.
Yeah. Oh wow. It looks like he might have gone red right there from getting hit, but yeah, great job bashing the shot.
Now he's heading to charge jump. That is a value safety save, as Sloaters is going for fast stompless on his ends.
Yeah, a little bit tougher with controller, although that shot looks really good from Sloaters. He gets about the same spider shot. Oh, a little bit longer to get to the hit, and does indeed get it. So great job by both of the runners getting this really difficult trick.
Oh.
As Sully is continuing to get infinited by these noob spikes right now.
And I thought this kid was bad with the SA up.
It's just an awful time when you only have 4 HP.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank goodness. And he gets the save in his throw. Thank goodness. Ah. But he is going to start the save anywhere from the Ghost Door save, which is so spooky because now you can't see like anything in the background and you have to go back through all of the spikes with limited vision. It's spooky.
Yeah, and actually those deaths, you know, gave Sloaters a chance to catch it a little bit back up. You know, based on where Sloaters was dying next to the 5th energy cell. And a very nice first try Sorrow Bash from Sloaters.
And that just continues his streak of not failing this trick in the tournament. Which is super impressive.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And is indeed going to go for the old frog juggle. Man, we're getting all these old strats. I'm like harping back to last year right now with all of this. This is great nostalgia right here. I love it. Keep doing it, Sloaters. Yeah.
He's doing frog juggle. Now, this is something, as a newer runner myself, I don't exactly know much about.
Yeah, it's kind of the safer iteration of crazy juggle. Instead, you use this frog when you do a charge S bash cancel right there.
Oh dear.
Okay, it's gonna have to. Oh, is he? Please let him charge. Is he out of energy? I'm not sure what was happening right there.
That might have been his last energy. He did have to break the crystal on the way up.
He did flash his UI. I couldn't really tell. But anyway, either way, as he's going to do that, Sully is heading over to my favorite part of movement, which is Misty right here. And it's just going to be trucking with these charge dashes all the way through. And going to try to go for a sick rocket jump off of this Frankie. Very, very nice. A little bit of stomp canceling. That movement looks so great. And now just down to 2 energy, and we'll still have an extra energy to recycle throughout the rest of this first part.
He is just going.
Takes out the lantern right before the Atsu's charge, sending a message. I hold domination over this domain.
All Spells is one of the few categories that does do Misty in its entirety.
That's correct. Because once you go inside of Misty, there is no way to exit without the intended way with the mini boss at the end. There are other categories that manipulate this by going out of bounds, but this is a no out of bounds category. There's no room for that. We got to do it the proper way.
Sloater's taking a bit of damage on that frog, so these magical spikes will kill him, but since he already got the Sunstone, he's just gonna leave Misty right now, and by Misty, I mean Sorrow, because he's heading into Misty as Sully is heading out.
Yep, grabbing that ability cell that Sully had to get on the way in, because that's what he's going to use later on, instead of a timed level up. At least that's how this iteration of it is. There are other iterations with the old Clean Water Route where you can farm a level up in here to skip that, but it's definitely a little different.
So, Sloaters did not take a safety save in the beginning of Misty. I am a little scared.
Nah, this is fine. Nothing could possibly go wrong in Misty, am I right?
Well, considering Sloaters is on... Oh dear. Crash bashes are real and they are awful.
Ooh, slowly taking a death though, as we're all going over on... Oh my goodness gracious, Sloater! The charge dash iframe saving him a bit right there, because I think that would have been death for him. Okay, he does take the safety save afterward. Might have been a bit scared after that near-death experience. Sully's coming up to the Misty mini-boss, and ooh, just misses the quick kill right there, but does get a nice 2 cycle, so very good job by Sully.
And now Slitter's coming up to the climb tree as Sully is coming up to this door. He's on his way out of Misty as Sloaters is on his way, well, more so out of Misty, but a little behind still.
Yeah, messes up the little rocket jump, so opting to just kind of charge jump up here. Not opting for that extra energy. You've seen a lot of people grab that, but I guess routes his energy a little bit differently. That's the great part about the second half of Misty, is you can route your energy in as, you know, as safer, as crazy as you want to. Sully's going to do a ghost lever right here by doing a rekindle glitch while holding it. We're going to use that to exit later, and where he's going to get his fifth health. Ooh.
Manages to not die to the laser, which is always good. Is gonna have to wait on these cycles though. Is not gonna get the super fast one that everyone liked to go for.
All right, Sloater is apparently just deciding not to save. So he's going all out right now. Maybe he feels like he's behind and has to go for the riskier stuff.
I'm afraid. I hope he saves the mini boss. Is he at energy? Never mind. No, he's not. Sloater's piece. Okay. There's the save, and there's a mini boss.
Dude, I love Sloater's quick kill. It's one of the most unique ones. The double kill.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. All right, slowly getting grenade jump. Has all the skills. Needs to finish the game. Some sick charge dash stomp cancels right there to optimize some movements. Grabbing 5th health, and let's see if Sully opts to grab the 6 HP in Horror Fields on the way to the Mount Horror door.
Now, Sloaters doesn't have to, because he cleaned the water, so any extra HP is at that point just a safety buffer. Sully, considering he's already taken damage going towards Horu, I wouldn't be surprised if he took the health, just in case.
Oh, he's down to, what, 2, I think, right now? Okay, does drop a safety save, but is still only going 5 HP, so very interesting decision. You know, KBM swimming is not as easy as controller swimming, and if the fish positions are not in the right spot, you can get infinited by that, so gotta be really careful.
Alright, well, Sully is into the last part of the area and is heading for door warp. What do you say? Door warp successes.
Hey, first try. Rip first try.
Rip first try.
Oh!
Wait, what? Did... I am confused.
I can safely say I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No, I've seen it before. So...
I mean, still obviously work like a door warp. Oh, maybe sometimes it'll make you go in and out. Like sometimes if you, when you enter the horror door originally, you'll get kind of a screen clip where you'll get like a black screen flash for a second. I wonder if you got the same thing with that, but with door warp. That's really interesting. Either way, Sully waiting a little bit for the fish cycles. Looks to be okay, yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't get rocked. Not gonna get rocked. Going for the last grenade jump and just does it like it's no big deal.
Yeah, very nice. So GG to Sully. Ori is indeed moving, so does not get the fake skip. So very great job by Sully. You know, overall, outside of that's the kind of the Sorrow spaghetti, pretty clean run.
Yeah. Sloater's now gonna be coming up to his entrance to Horu and the door warp. Not gonna go for the grenade jump, just gonna go and charge dash all the way over. As Sully just needs to hold right.
We'll be getting a final time here for Sully in a second. And it looks like the final official time is 34:22. So great job from Sully. And I believe that beats the best race time that he had, because I believe it was a 34:31 before, if I'm remembering it correctly.
I'm not certain.
But either way, still a very solid run. Sloaters gets door warp right now. And doesn't have to worry about any poison water.
Apparently, I'm getting word that it's tied. He's tied his best race time.
Oh my god, it's tied.
Sloaters starting his escape now because he cleaned the water. He doesn't have to worry about that. So, Trojan, do you think we're going to see fish strats?
You know, I've already seen it in 2 races from Sloaters. We got to get a 3rd one. He's got to go out of the tournament with a bang right here with some good old fish strats. So I have faith in Sloaters. Let's see. He's going through the fire elbow over here. And 3, 2, 1. Oh, not going for it.
So no fish strats, unfortunately. But he is going to go do the grenade jump to leave. Misses the first attempt. This is the second attempt. Still got plenty of energy to keep trying for a bit. And third tries the charm.
Very nice job from Sloaters. Very, you know, compared to his PB, he's going to be pretty close. So really great job by Sloaters overall. GG to him.
Absolutely.
So initial thoughts on this this race, Poogle. What did you think?
The fact that it took swamp entry to start separating the runners was insane.
Yeah, I very much agree. I thought that it was cool how close this was, and Sloaters having an early lead and then pretty much converging right with that time difference. And yeah, very, very clean late game from Sully overall. Like I felt like without those deaths to the noob spike, his movement in Misty was really clean. His movements, you know, grenade and afterward was really clean. It just kind of closed out the run.
And we have a final time for him, which is going to be 36:46. Now, it does look like we may be getting Sully in for an interview. So let's see if we can't get him in here on that.
We'll also be asking if Sloaters wants to join.
And we are joined by Sully. How are you feeling, Sully?
I'm all right. Could have gone better, but just glad to take the win.
I have to ask, were you watching the restream?
No, I never do. And mostly I don't even watch my splits, but lately I've been pulling those up just to kind of get an idea of where I'm at. And in SRL, somehow I like reset my splits for some reason. So I had no idea where I was. I don't even remember where I reset it. Somewhere before, I don't know, somewhere after Ginso, I think.
So you were getting a bit of a rough time in the noob spikes. How are you feeling during that?
Unsurprised, I guess. That happens all the time. That's why I take that safety save. In practice, it went really well today. But, you know, naturally in a race, you just throw it out the window. So that was fun time. That's why I take that safety save.
And we are also joined by Sloaters right now. GG, man. How are you feeling overall after that race?
You know, at first I was a little worried with that early Glades death, but just like my last race, I was pleasantly surprised with the pace I was keeping, despite not practicing as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, I believe you were within 20 seconds of your, or around 20 seconds of your PB, which is a really sick pace overall. Did you recover pretty quickly after the Glades one? Was there like a point where you maybe calmed down a bit after that?
You know, I kind of freaked out for a second because I was thinking I would have to start like all the way over. And then when I realized my save was like right there, I was like, oh, that's not even a big deal. Like, whatever.
Were you watching the race stream?
Yeah, I had it up.
So, Sully, that door warp, how are you feeling?
That's the second time that's happened to me, and it just makes me laugh every time. So, like, even after it happened again, I just kind of stood there and was like, what a weird game. And carried on with the run, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why that happens. I've tried to repeat that, and I never, ever, ever can replicate it intentionally.
But it's happened to you before.
Yeah, that was the second time. Another time was, I think, in a no reset run or something like that outside of the tournament.
Yeah, and wanted to ask also as well, how are you feeling with, you were getting a little intimidated by the Sorrow noob spikes over there. How are you feeling after that?
I think this is probably the most level-headed I've been in a race so far, which I think is good going into whoever I'm facing next, either Lurking or Smashy. I'm just kind of calming down a bit, so I try not to let these things worry me, and I've been replicating your style and doing a lot of no resets and ILing the early game a lot, so I know where I can be even with mistakes like that, so I don't get too torn up about them anymore.
And then Sloaters, another question for you. So this unfortunately ends your run in the tournament, but as you know, one of the people who's doing kind of the old route with clean water, how do you feel like you did overall in the kind of the frame of the tournament? Was this better than you expected? About what you expected?
You know, I think I did a little better than I expected. I won more matches in my my group than I thought I would, and I managed to shave like 3 minutes off my PB since like the tournament got announced. So I think overall my skill with the game is increased a bit further than I thought it would from this tournament.
Yeah, that's always great to hear, man. That, you know, always looking for improvement from, doesn't matter what runner it is. So it's really great to hear that you feel like you've improved quite a bit.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be closing out. Thank you to both Ellie and Sloaters. Good job, Sully, and good luck in your next match.
Thank you, I appreciate
How are
that.
you feeling? Who would you rather face? Lurking or Smashy?
Oh, neither. Honestly, like Smashy is ridiculous, and she put up such a sick time for her PB in a race already, and Lurking just keeps getting better every single day. I mean, he almost bought me recently until I PB'd again, so I honestly, this one is going to be really, really nerve-wracking for me, so I don't know. Good luck to both of them, and congratulations on their victory against me whenever that happens.
Alright, well, we are going to be taking an hour or so break, and in an hour, we are going to have Sigma versus Aviona. So, everyone come back for that. That is going to be fantastic. After which is going to be Hobbs versus Fance. So, come back and check Speed Gaming 3 for when that starts going on, because we are not yet done with all of the awesome matches we've got for you tonight.
Yeah, both of those are honestly going to be really close. You've got two of the top runners in Evie and Sig, and then Fant and J-Hobbs are really close right now in Skull based on their tournament improvements. So, man, I can't wait for those two matches. Well, Poogle, it has been a very much pleasure commentating with you.
It was a pleasure commentating with you as well, Trojan.
And we'll see you guys all in an hour. Have a good one.
Damage as they head through. So, ooh, nice job. And wow, Yoko. Oh,
No,
my
oh no,
goodness.
Yoko. Oh my goodness. Please be careful.
He hasn't taken any like really bad deaths as result, but
Oh no.
no! Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, true shade. So we're gonna see what Didu decides to do. Nice safety save there, and wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that froggy has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh god, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
It's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus.
Holy
so close.
crap, Rufus.
Oh.
Oh god.
Makes it.
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh, Monkley's shot going through.
Oh, he's missed the double bash though. He's gonna go back up. Monkley's shots are facing the floor. I hope he does not hit that on the upper one. Cheese is broken into swamp.
Oh, Monkley getting hit by the shot.
Subtle that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh. Okay, try again. Just this time you can get to the platform.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament, and oh wow, I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that 5th.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And oh,
Fluffy, what
I didn't know you could do that. Can you really just keep
goodness.
moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh god, Hori's in the air! Hello!
Oh no. Oh, Frankie. Frankie, please go away. Oh, that is so
no.
painful.
Oh, this is a party.
Luckily, he does have a series.
Yeah, oh, mini boss not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with your chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is...
He's gone through!
Oh, he died! Death! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well.
What?
This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They both stopped the thing together. Okay.
Each one of those grenades costs 1. He's got 1 left. That's enough for 2 grenade jump attempts. If he keeps missing in that particular way, he's got 1 chance left.
1 more.
And he gets it. The
First
clutch.
try, and well, not first try, but you know what? First try.
We'll call it first try.